Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit up to $250. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back, all from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Friday, May the 14th. It's the Grade 2 George E. Mitchell Black Guide Susan Stakes. Let's take a look at this field of 3-year-old fillies getting set to go a mile and an eighth, race number 13 at Pimlico. You can download 3 formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with us. Bob Baffert is the morning line favorite, Mike. The number 10 Beautiful Gift is 9-5 on the line. Of course, there's all that controversy surrounding Baffert. I'm not sure how it affects your handicapping, though.
Doesn't affect my handicapping at all. Is Beautiful Gift the horse to beat? I guess she is, Dan. I think it's a pretty tough call. Not only does she have post 10 in here, but she's been facing some very short fields out in Southern California. Now she's on the far outside against the big field.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector. You'd expect in a big race like this, big field, that there would be a fast pace. Timeform US agrees. They have Iced Latte, who was on the lead last time out, expected to be forwardly placed. I think Spritz could show some speed, although she's kind of showed that synthetic speed. I think Adventuring's tactical speed, Willful Woman's tactical speed, they should be in great spots.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Those horses could all get forward. We'll see how fast they wind up going. In Iced Latte's defense, Dan, in her most recent start at Belmont Park, she did get hooked on a pretty fast pace in that race, and she paid the price.
Army Wife, the number 1, I think is a sleeper in here for trainer Michael Maker. I like the guts and determination she showed in her seasonal debut going a 1-turn mile against Weaker. I liked her a little bit in the Gazelle last time out. She was no match for Search Results, who came back and ran so well when second in the Kentucky Oaks with a 95 buyer. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think she gets second with a better trip.
Yeah, she might have. I mean, she was certainly compromised in the upper stretch there. You know, I guess it's a pretty tough call for me, Dan, because all the way around that second turn, it never looked like she had enough. And, you know, she certainly didn't look to me like she was going to be competitive. Maybe she would have gotten second anyway. I just don't know what that means. Her last 2 races are fine, but they don't do much for me.
The number 2 is Willful Woman. Let's watch Willful Woman's most recent effort. Bounce back performance after the Honeybee, a race in which she broke slow and finished last. You see this race is over a sloppy track. She's 2 for 2 over the slop. But I like how Willful Woman, willfully, goes by these 2 horses on the lead. Does it bother you that both of her big races have come on wet tracks and both of those wins have come with Lasix? Of course, no Lasix in the Black Eyed Susan.
You know, I don't want to say it bothers me that they've been on wet tracks. I certainly don't care about the Lasix thing right now. I don't know about the wet track part, Dan. I mean, maybe she prefers it that way. I personally feel like she's run really well on fast dirt a couple of times too. Her Honeybee wasn't great, but as you mentioned, she did not break in that race. Then she pulled her way forward. She got all the way up behind the leaders and was just sort of jammed in there all the way up the backstretch. And then she just totally let that race go. I didn't want to be too hard on her for the Honeybee. I liked her last race. I thought she ran well in there, and I just feel like she could be a filly who's just improving from race to race.
Spritz is a filly that has to show it on dirt. She's done some really nice work in her last couple of races on synthetic. I thought the Bourbonnais Oaks was a bit of an underrated performance, and that she moved early in a fast-paced race. She was beaten by Adventuring. That being said, and while I respect her connections and her tactical speed, just not sure if she's a true dirt filly right now, especially against this sort of competition.
I agree. I'm concerned about the surface switch for her. I'm also a little bit concerned about the distance, Dan. I don't know that a mile and an eighth does this filly any favors. That being said, she ran well last time in that Bourbonnais Oaks. As you've already pointed out, that pace was fast. She made an early move to take over, and they did not rate it around that second turn. They let her roll, and she just got outrun at the end.
I think the 4 Forever Boss has something. I wonder if this is a bit too much too soon for Kenny McPeak. Let's watch her dirt debut. Off the turf race at Keeneland, only 3 other horses. You see her down inside. I like how she finishes it off, but boy, what was she beating?
I mean, that's the real question. It feels like she wasn't beating anything. You can see the second and third finishers, Dan. They're just not doing any running at this point. This horse sat on the rail, got through on the inside at the top of the stretch. And, there's just no running going on behind her in this race. So to me, it just makes it really tough to tell how good she is. She certainly ran fine in there, but I kind of want to see it again.
Lady Traveler, fourth in the Beaumont last time out. To me, she's a late running 7/8 of a mile horse. They're going to try to stretch her out one more time. She has earned a graded stakes placing this year, but that was in a slow edition of the Forward Gal.
Yeah, that's not a race that I care for at all, that Forward Gal. I thought that was a pretty bad race. She was fine, I guess, in the Beaumont last time, but she never looked like she was going to be competitive in there. She's still a little bit slow on figures. I don't know how much I want her stretching out. Just a lot of things I didn't like about this horse.
First time 2 turns for the lightly raced and progressive number 6, Ice Latte. Let's watch that race, her last race at Belmont over sloppy track. This is a race that Mike was talking about where Ice Latte had to work on the lead here, and she's going to put away this horse right next door, Teetotaler, and she's just going to get run down late.
Yeah, I mean, she got challenged early in this race, dueled around the turn, did put Teetotaler away. Teetotaler was the favorite, Dan, coming off of a pretty big performance, but all in all, she's just not that good. Ice Latte did put her away, and she falls to a horse who actually could turn out to be okay. The Midnight Obsession was right off of a maiden win there, but she's run well in both of her starts. Ice Latte ran well last time. I didn't love her maiden win 2 starts back, but she certainly took a step forward last time.
Miss Leslie wants distance. You can just see it from her past performances. Her last 2 starts around 2 turns were both stakes races. She won both of them, including this one, the Weber City Miss, right here at Pimlico on April the 24th. And she didn't have a really great trip here. She didn't get out of the gate very well. She was pinched going into the first turn. Finally, J.D. Acosta gets her to the outside, and she just shows off her stamina to wear these horses down in the stretch. Now, she was beaten 2 and 3 back, but Claudio Gonzalez had no option but to run her in those sprint races. There were no stakes going long for 3-year-old fillies at that time of year.
Yeah, it certainly seems like she's better going longer, that's for sure. If nothing else, Dan, that race we just watched is clearly the best race she's ever run. She ran well when she won around 2 turns last year, too. But that race right there felt like a real step in the right direction for her. And if she has pace in front of her this time, maybe she takes another step forward.
You and I disagree a little bit about the merits of the 8. The Grass is Blue, the winner of the Busanda going 1 1/8. I didn't think she had the greatest trip in the Busher, and what chance did she have anyway against Search Results and Miss Brazil? Search Results I already talked about. Miss Brazil's a very fast 1-turn horse, and those 2 horses controlled the pace up front. And the Grass is Blue was kind of on hold and steadied in between horses before she got out in the stretch. And in the Gazelle, she was just kind of wide all the way around the track against Search Results. I think this is a much better spot from a class standpoint. I think this distance is what she wants. Chad removes the blinkers.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just disagree, I guess. Obviously, she wasn't going to win the Busher the way that race set up. The 2 best horses in the race walked on a slow pace. This filly was sort of third without ever factoring. I guess, didn't see what you saw last time in the Gazelle. I thought she got a great trip in that race. Manny Franco put her right behind Search Results. She followed that horse around the track. She never made a run into the race around the second turn. And even Army Wife, who got completely shut off in the stretch and fell behind, outfinished this horse for third. To me, this horse was terrible last time. I also didn't like her race when Miss Leslie beat her at Laurel last December. This horse had no excuse that day, just got outfinished by that horse as the favorite. I don't like this horse at all.
Adventuring, the number 9, has won her last 2 races. And to me, she just looks like the kind of filly that's found herself for Brad Cox. She has that beautiful Godolphin pedigree. She's proven on dirt. She got the setup last time out from a pace standpoint on the synthetic. Yes, she got the setup, but boy, she finished that race off very nicely.
Yeah, she did. Things did break her way in there, but she also made a nice run into that race to get the job done. It's interesting, Dan, they still have not entered her. This is the first time they're entering her in a dirt race in her career, but she's already shown that she handles this surface. She was good last time on synthetic, but she was also good 2 starts back on dirt. Her race back in December where she was second to Will's Secret was another good performance. I think this filly's pretty good.
Will's Secret, of course, third in the Kentucky Oaks this year. Beautiful Gift is the favorite. Beautiful Gift is a graded stakes winner. You could argue that the Southern California-based 3-year-old fillies this year, subpar to say the least, and Beautiful Gift got beat at odds on in her last race, the Santa Anita Oaks. Let's watch that effort right now. Johnny V had Beautiful Gift on the outside pushing this pace. It was not a fast pace. Somehow Soothsay was able to sneak through along the rail. So she had to cover a little bit more ground, did Beautiful Gift. I have to admit, I'm still a little disappointed she didn't get past Soothsay in the lane.
Yeah, bearing down on that horse all through the stretch, but she can't get by her. It felt like maybe she was compromised on the backstretch there. And the horse that finished third there, Mraz, just got a sort of a weird ride on the lead there, bearing way out into the track. Ultimately, maybe she was trying to beat Beautiful Gift, which I guess worked in some ways, except that Mraz wasn't any good in there. I don't know, Dan. She's been in 4 straight fields against only 3 other horses. And she's run fine in those races, but I know as of right now, I only know that she's better than Mraz, and Mraz just may not be very good. This horse can obviously win. She's the morning line favorite. I don't know if I would be betting her at a short price, though.
And I think that's a very good point. I'm taking a look at my topics, and I picked her because I think on that we have yet to see her best race. But from the outside post at a short price, you could certainly take shots against her. I think The Grass is Blue is interesting. We disagreed. I do want to use your number 2, Willful Woman. I just think a good trip is coming up, covered up in behind the leaders and maybe getting the jump on some of these true closers.
Yeah, I mean, she does have something to prove in this race. I'll admit that. I just wonder if she's just getting better from race to race. And I'm going to give her a pass for that Honeybee because I think she does have some excuses that day. I'm hoping she takes a step forward and, as you say, falls into a trip here, Dan. I was torn between the 2 and the 9. The 2 is going to be a way better price in this race, so I put her on top.
And keep an eye out for Mike's 4th pick. Miss Leslie likes the track. If there's pace, she'll be running late. She wants this distance. 2-9, 10-7 for Mike, 10-8, 2-4 for me. Friday race of the day, the Black-Eyed Susan at Pimlico. Good luck.